Good Saturday morning. I'm KHU11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and we are starting off with clear and sunny skies. It's going to be a pretty warm day. As we head into the afternoon hours, we will have a chance for an isolated shower or two once again. So just keep that in mind if you are heading to those outdoor activities. We have a lot going on this weekend here in Houston. We have the Pride Parade. We have Beyonce happening. Just keep an eye on the weather and keep an eye on that heat, especially if you have to stand in line outdoors. Make sure to stay hydrated as well. Maybe bring an umbrella. Just bring it off with you because we are going to see rain. We're going to see heat, humidity, everything that Houston has to offer as we head into this afternoon. Right now, it's currently 81 degrees. Hobby Airport 80 degrees, Sugar Land 82, 89, feeling like 89. So when you factor in those feels like temps, definitely it's going to be feeling a lot hotter than what the actual temp is. So definitely it's an important reminder to practice those heat safety measures as high temps are going to start topping out in the 90s by the 1 p.m. hour. As we get closer towards the afternoon hours, we will see those evening downpours once again today. We are not really going to get rid of those rain chances all that sooner, but we are expecting the next mostly just the isolated shower activity expected through the afternoon hours. As far as the Pride Parade, again, stay hydrated. If you have to spend time outdoors, if you're heading out to downtown, because it's going to be in the upper 80s by 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 83 degrees, 80 degrees by 11 p.m. Then if you're heading out to Beyonce at the NRG Stadium, 87 for those temps around later this evening. Feels like temps around 95 degrees. Bring an umbrella with you because we will see those isolated downpours possible through the afternoon hours. Rain chances are going to actually start ramping up as we head into Monday. Of course, I'll cover that in just a few seconds, but we are expecting radar to start off mostly quiet, not much going on, but then we will see these afternoon downpours that will start flaring up as we get closer towards the 2 o'clock to 3 p.m. hour. And not everybody's going to receive rain, but just keep in mind that these downpours, if they kind of linger over a section of the city for a long period of time, we could get some isolated flooding concerns like we've seen for the past 48 hours, especially for the areas that's gotten that heavy rain. I'd say rain is not going to be as widespread as we've seen in the past 48 hours, but it's still possible going into later this afternoon between 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then eventually heading into the 4 p.m. hour, we will start seeing the rain chances diminish, and then we are tracking even more scattered showers and storms as we head into tomorrow afternoon for Sunday. So if you're heading out and about, we are going to be seeing a surge of tropical moisture that's going to be moving in and fueling that storm activity as we head into those afternoon hours. Right now, as we look at the next few days, we have a high pressure system that's building in across Texas, but then also we're going to have to keep an eye on what's happening in the tropics. We now have a 50% chance of development of a disturbance out in the southern Gulf Bay of Campeche within the next 7 days. So this is ramping up. But the good news, though, is that if this does form into anything, it's actually going to go straight into Mexico, and models are not really taking it further north. It's that high pressure system that's going to be over us that is going to keep that system well south of the U.S.-Mexico border. So that's good news in all of that. So as we look at future track, we can expect the center of that low to form in the Bay of Campeche, and then eventually as we look, that's the center right there. That's as we head into Sunday, it's going to go straight into Mexico near Tampico, I believe, and that is going to just stay well south of us if it does get a name in the next coming days. So good news for us. However, it is going to send tropical moisture our way. We do have this surge of moisture from that system that's going to be sending some showers our way. So just keep that in mind that once we head into Sunday, tropical moisture is going to be causing some storm development in the afternoon hours. And that's why we're going to see those rain chances ramp up in the afternoon for Sunday. Rain chances a bit more widespread for Sunday afternoon as well. And then after that, we're tracking a plume of Saharan dust once again. This plume expected to move over the Gulf and expected to move into southeast Texas by Monday afternoon. This could suppress rain chances for Monday, which is good news, but it is going to bring us some hazy skies, and it is going to suppress any tropical development and keep that well south of us if it does happen. So definitely expecting a lot going on in terms of our weather pattern for the next few days. We are expecting heat, humidity, rain, dust, all the 9 yards, like I said in the beginning of this stream. So expecting those conditions to remain mostly just wet for the afternoon an occasional downpour, but if you are out and about, practice those heat safety measures, wear sunscreen, drink water. We have those outdoor activities. We're about to be in July, and of course it's summertime in Houston, and so you want to stay hydrated and don't be passing out in the middle of the street as we deal with those outdoor events as well. I know for the Beyonce concert, you have to park in one location and probably have to walk a mile to the NRG Stadium. So stay hydrated, practice those heat safety measures if you are out and about for today. As we look at a rainfall outlook through the first week of July, it's going to be above normal for areas west of Houston. We're going to be somewhat drier, and so it's usually June to really us to see the more wetter conditions here in the Houston area. And usually when July comes around, that's when we start dealing with the dog days of summer, which is usually just pretty much dry, hot, and humid conditions. So that's our climatology in the Houston area. Summer, July, August, some of the hottest times of the year, and it's also a bit drier during the months of July and August. June, usually our wettest month. So these downpours that we've been seeing for the past few weeks, not uncommon. It's actually quite common for that to happen in the month of June. Usually June, our wettest month of the year here in Houston. Looking at our marine forecast, conditions out in the Gulf is quite calm. We're not expecting to see mostly higher waves. We're seeing great conditions out in Galveston, so 2 to 3 foot waves, southeast winds at 15 miles an hour. So we are expecting conditions to be pleasant for Galveston, but just be extra cautious, especially for young ones that are out in the Gulf. But looking at our high temperature trend, we're going to be in the lower 90s for today and tomorrow, but then look at how high these temperatures get going into Monday and Tuesday of next week. That's when the rain chances are going to be diminishing, and that is going to ultimately lead to a fairly hot outlook for the end of next week. So keep that in mind as well as we ring in the 4th of July next Friday. So looking at our 7-day forecast, we're expecting it to see highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s. We're going to keep that rain chance in the forecast for this afternoon. Again, this afternoon, more isolated in nature. Tomorrow afternoon, a bit more widespread going into the hours of 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We could see rain chances lasting through Monday, and then we're going to be dealing with that dust, that Saharan dust for the middle of the week. It's also going to see those temps get up to about 96, 94 degrees, and then by 4th of July, 20% chance of isolated showers, and then we're going to see those highs in the upper 90s by the end of the work week. So definitely hot conditions. We do have a chance of some rain for today. And just to kind of, recap on what's going on for today as we ring in our weekend with all the fun-filled activities happening in Houston. We have the Pride Parade, we have Beyonce going on today and tomorrow. So definitely you want to be aware that it is going to be warm and a bit humid, and also bring an umbrella with you because we could see some of those downpours once again this afternoon. So if you're heading out to the Pride Parade, temperatures are going to be in the 80s this evening, but we're going to ultimately have highs in the 90s for today. And when you factor in the humidity, it's going to feel hotter in the upper 90s by this afternoon. For today, Beyonce Saturday, we are seeing highs about 87 degrees, feels like around 95. We do have a 20% chance of an isolated storm or two. Just like I said, bring an umbrella and don't risk ruining those Beyonce outfits that you probably spent weeks planning, because we could see some rain chances for today, as well as stay hydrated. You don't want to pass out heading in. You want to make it to NRG Stadium from your car going into today. Rain chances, like I said, ramping up for tomorrow. We do have more of a widespread rain chance for tomorrow afternoon, so keep that in mind as well if you are heading out to Beyonce Day 2 for Sunday. Radar, mostly quiet for today, but like I said, we can't stress this enough that we've been in this active period of just stormy and rainy afternoons. It's usually common during this time of year. We have that sea breeze frontal boundary that usually loves to move inland, and that's what brings that shower and storm development that we usually see in our inland areas. So isolated showers and maybe an isolated downpour still possible for this afternoon between the hours of 2 o'clock, probably lasting through 4 to 5 p.m. And then eventually rain chances will be diminishing. I don't think we're going to see as widespread heavy rain like we've seen yesterday and the day before, but just keep in mind, it's not out of the question that we could get a lone isolated spot that could dump some rain that could cause some minor flooding issues for some locations for this afternoon. And then tomorrow afternoon, more widespread rain coverage going closer towards 1 to 2 o'clock, and that is because the surge of tropical moisture that is going to be moving in, all thanks to this disturbance that we're tracking that's well south of the U.S.-Mexico border. This disturbance, I know that you probably are going to be seeing a lot of news alerts about this tropical disturbance that's going to be forming in the Bay of Campeche southern Gulf. We have a high pressure system that's going to be building in over Texas. That's going to keep us pretty much safe from that system, but it's not going to prevent that tropical moisture fueling some shower and storm development for Sunday and into Monday. And so, like I said, National Hurricane Center upping that chance of development out in the Bay of Campeche southern Gulf at 50% chance of development within the next 7 days. And so we've seen this was about a 30 yesterday, and so the trend is kind of upticking that they're upping their chances for this to develop into a system. But like I said, as we look at our tropical future models, we are expecting the center of that low to form maybe by tomorrow, but the good news is that that low is going to go straight into Mexico, but it's still going to send some showers and storms our way. See that little circle right there? That's not a low, that's actually a high pressure system, and that's going to keep that system well south of us going into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But like I said, as that system starts becoming a little bit better organized, we're going to see that tropical moisture come along the Texas coast. And so the rain chances are going to be mainly along I-10, maybe south of I-10 towards the coast to around the Galveston area. So tomorrow, I don't really think it's going to be a good beach day if you do have any plans out in Galveston. So just keep that in mind as well. And then we're tracking that dust that's going to be surging in by Monday to Tuesday. And that ultimately is going to be causing some hazy skies. And the good news with the dust is that it does suppress any tropical development out in the Atlantic basin. So as far as your beach forecast, highs in the 80s, isolated storm possible. Keep that in mind as well as we head into Sunday and into Monday, that we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly calm for today. Tomorrow, a little bit rainier, a little bit more widespread showers and storms. It's the heat that we're really gonna have to keep an eye on for today if you do plan to spend time outdoors, heading to Beyonce, maybe heading to the Pride Parade, because we are gonna see isolated chance of showers, highs in the 90s. Next week, upper 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chances are gonna be diminishing, but we could see maybe a shower or two here and there heading into the end of the week. So also just bring that umbrella, pack it all, have it in your car, maybe a toiletry kit, because you just never know with this Houston weather that we could get those 2 to 3 inch downpours that could fall within an hour. So just keep that in mind as well as we get closer towards hurricane season. Always have those action plans ready as we go into the next few days. Not like we're expecting a hurricane or any tropical storm. That's not going to happen for the next 7 days. We have that system in the southern Gulf, has a 50% chance of development. Expect it to remain well south of us, but it will up those rain chances for Sunday, sending some tropical moisture our way. So be prepared for just, you know how weather is here across southeast Texas. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 70s, rain chances diminishing for the end of next week. And of course, we are tracking the latest weather trends on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app. Make sure to tune in at KHOU 11 News at 9 a.m. Of course, myself, along with Devon Roming, will be giving you the latest news and weather updates across southeast Texas as we ring in this active week here across Houston. Again,